Did you know there's a Japanese Sherlock Holmes TV show, Miss Sherlock?
Yeah, with the lesbians.
I'm all about that.
I'm into it.
I mean,
Don't
no.
say it that way. It's like,
She shouldn't have said this. I wasn't ready for the lesbians part. I wasn't ready for the lesbians part.
Welcome to the Emergent Gamer Podcast, episode 184. I'm Felix Hergood.
Neo Yoshi's here.
Snacks a cat.
And Sleeping Flower.
Hey, welcome, guys. As you can see, there's some new, old, fresh faces here.
What?
New, old, fresh.
What do we got here?
I think he means it's your first live show with us.
I think Snacks. I think it's Snacks' second live show.
Something like that. Yeah.
I think
It's my first live show,
It's
yeah.
your first live show.
Truth.
So welcome here. Yeah, there's a lot of news, a lot of things to talk about. Yeah. What do we got, Neo?
Well, not me. We got. I don't have the news today.
Oh yeah, we don't have news today.
I thought we would start with Sleeping Flower just got back from Japan.
Yeah, so you've been talking to me kind of off and on about this, plan of yours to fly to Tokyo again and check it out. And so you went there.
Mm-hmm.
And how many trips now have you done?
This is my second.
Second
past
trip.
2 years,
So we had we were fortunate to have you on just post the last one you went to.
Yep.
And that was a good show. And then we'd say, she's back again. She's gone to Tokyo again. We haven't been there. We all want to go. I'd love to go to Tokyo.
That'd be so
You
sick.
guys can come with me next time, I promise.
I would love to plan it one day,
Yeah.
where we all take the trip together,
That'd be
because that
cool.
would be dope.
Dope.
I just want to go to Super Potato.
Super Potato is super dope.
I don't even understand what that is.
What is Super Potato?
It's like a huge ass retro video game store with all these old rare carts, and it's really cool.
It's about 4 floors of retro games.
It's
Holy
fucking
shit.
huge.
Huge is kind of a misnomer. It's very large. It's very, very cramped.
Right.
It's
It's
very
all like
It's like-
cramped.
It's like you pull out a bin and it's just all NES carts.
yeah.
Or Famicom carts.
I was back at Ship and Go.
So how was your trip this time?
It was amazing. I went for a lot longer this time. Last time I was there for about 9 days. This time I was there for about 14.
Damn.
Yeah, I was there for about 2 weeks.
Oh, so you had so much fun. You were like, I'm planning a longer trip. Mama gets a longer trip this
Unfortunately, it wasn't like a forever trip, but whatever.
time. Would you make
You're gonna
it?
move there, aren't
Is
you?
that like a plan?
One day, yeah,
That'd be so
definitely.
sick.
Oh, a forever trip.
A
Got
forever
it.
trip.
You speaking Japanese now?
I do.
Oh, you do?
Yes.
Pretty good Japanese.
Pretty good Japanese.
Oh.
I'm not doing it for you guys. Don't ask.
Now, what is that? Did you actually take formal lessons, or is that just from you going there? And
No,
then,
it's mostly self-taught and books and going there speaking to people that I can. I've taken my Japanese language placement tests, so that's really cool.
Fancy.
Can't
Fancy,
remember
I
us
guess.
ever asking
You get mad
that.
when people don't talk to you in Japanese there, don't you?
Okay, so in Japan, for some reason, because I obviously look foreign, they refuse to speak to me in Japanese, even if I ask them to.
They want to try their English out on you, though, right?
I don't want them to try their English out on me because they're bad at it, and I don't understand it.
That's hilarious.
Sorry.
No,
Please
I'm
speak
trying to learn
Japanese.
your language. Stop trying to learn my language.
Did you find one person there?
Well, no, there were a couple people at
No one there speaks
touristy
Japanese.
shops will ask you if you speak, and then they'll try to speak they'll speak with you. But if you're at a regular shop or just walking down the street or going to McDonald's or whatever, they're just do you want this? And I'm like, yes.
Hi.
Yes, I guess. Whatever.
Oh, and that's the worst, because you're there and they see you and they just know.
Right, and there's no way to be
If I was there, I'd be gigantic, and they'll be like,
Oh,
"That
look
big
at this!
guy's
Look at this
definitely-
guy, Gene.
He's an
This
English
damn
guy.
Gene.
That guy's getting English.
definitely a foreigner, and
That
they're
fucking dude. He's
very
getting
serious
English.
about it.
Like, we can't even grow a beard like that. You guys are
That's
getting it.
racist.
He's
You're
They'd
got-
find someone to
Getting slowly
compare
into
you
the
to.
racism.
Yeah,
They'd
he's
be
getting
like,
the
they'd be
English
like
stuff.
Bryan Cranston. He'd like compare you to the most random thing.
Yeah.
I got a Beyonce one. So
Yeah.
Nice,
a
nice.
Beyonce. And I'm like,
Beyonce.
no,
But thank you.
not at all.
That's good. That's a compliment.
So
I think.
I hear you also went to a very cool trade show.
I did. I went to Tokyo Game Show for
That's
both of its public days.
Awesome.
So Saturday and Sunday that it was there.
Tell me about Tokyo Game Show.
Okay, so let me start with the fact that conventions and game shows and things in Japan are super cheap. So like here, going to something like that would be like $75 a day, or like
Right.
$120 for the weekend, or whatever.
What up, E3 tickets?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's not talk about that.
Couple hundred.
It's $10 to get in a Tokyo Game Show.
Jesus.
And
What?
I'm that's me rounding up. Like with the conversion, it's like $8.30. So
Oh my God. I guess the hurdle is you got to get to Japan first.
I mean,
for us,
yeah.
you know,
for us, but like for them,
they're
so,
like, oh, it's Saturday. Let's go to the TGS.
yeah, let's go to Tokyo Game
Yeah.
Show. So the downside to that is it is extremely packed. Like
Right.
you can't breathe because there are people so close to you, and the line is ridiculously long.
Yeah.
And
Did you pre-buy tickets?
yeah, I pre-bought
Okay.
tickets for both days.
Separate line, I'm assuming, for...
Slightly, like we went in this giant line, and like let me start with saying that the Makahari Messe is an extremely large convention center, about the size of like the Philadelphia airport. Like just the building itself is extremely large. So
Wow.
we had to walk around the building, go through like
Jesus.
pre-check and like scan our tickets, walk around the building again.
When you say the Philadelphia airport, you mean the Philadelphia airport including the tarmac?
Yes,
Like
it's
that size?
it's large.
Holy-
It's the size of a small island. Like
Wow,
it's
that's
huge.
Fuck. Wow.
So like yeah, there was a lot of walking, a lot of line. It was ridiculous. Getting in took like a half an hour, and we got there like an hour before open. So that was ridiculous. But I had a lot of fun there. I got to do a lot of stuff.
What kind of things did you see?
So let me think. I'm trying to pull it all back together. It was a very long
Were
trip.
there any featured games that they were like that were standouts? Like when you first walk in, what stood out?
So when you first walked in the main entrance, it was actually like a giant Twitch thing.
Oh.
So like Twitch had its own like giant booth or whatever. So like, and like Twitch partners could like hang out. They had their own little lobby. Like they were just doing whatever.
It sounds like the PAX had the similar thing.
Right.
The Twitch the Twitch hangout area.
They do that now all the time.
It
so
wasn't
funny.
much different than like going to an E3, but so like Capcom had a huge booth, so they had like Biohazard or Resident Evil,
yeah.
Devil May Cry 6,
The second upcoming
5.
one.
5, 6
5, damn
numbers.
it.
I don't know, whatever. I played it. The lines for that was ridiculous.
How is Devil May Cry?
Fun. The combat feels a lot more satisfying than it did in previous games. It moves slower though. Like you feel slower. Dante, like you feel heavier. You just like, I don't know.
There's
the
more
physics
weight
in
to
it
it,
is
yeah.
weird.
Did you use your motorcycle as a weapon?
I did not. I
Oh.
wasn't a part of my demo.
Damn.
Yeah.
I heard that was a cool thing you could do in that
I
game.
don't know. I didn't get there.
Did you play Biohazard 2?
I did not because that line was extremely long and
That
I had to
was
choose.
I'm
between
very
them.
excited for it's Resident Evil 2 in America.
Are you explaining this to me?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
looking at
just
you.
in
Yeah,
case.
yeah.
He's
Um,
mansplaining me. He's
Oh, look at
mansplaining
him
me.
mansplaining. That's so nice.
Just
No,
saying, just saying, y'all.
We
it's
had an
Resident-
episode. We had an episode called, I think I called it, something Biohazard. It was like Resident.
Something.
I can't remember. It was like
Don't quote him.
Biohazard.
Someone go in the archives and tell us.
something.
It was a play
Dark
on.
Side.
It was a play on the
Outbreak.
fact that that's what the name is.
Right.
Yeah.
Damn it, you didn't get to see Resident Evil 2, huh?
I did not get to see Resident Evil 2.
That game looks fantastic. They just sorry, a little aside. They've released a whole bunch of footage of like Claire's campaign, and goddamn, that looks good.
Did you see the gore?
awesome.
Yeah, like
Oh
how
my
like
God.
zombies, like if you shooting them in the face will like
They had
mold
like
their.
trailers and
their-
stuff. I was just in line and not paying
cool.
attention to them.
That's what it was. Wasn't there a Resident Evil game named here called Resident Evil Biohazard?
That's 7.
7.
That's 7.
Seven got
Yeah.
it.
So our episode was called Biohazard because it's the same.
Well,
Right.
yeah,
That's
and in
what I meant.
Japan they called 7 Biohazard Resident
7.
Evil. Yeah, Biohazard 7 Resident Evil.
Yeah,
But we got it as Resident Evil 7 Biohazard.
it's so weird. It is. So
it was
weird.
like a licensing issue with like a band or
It's like
something.
back in like '96 or
yeah,
whatever.
in '96 they didn't want to get sued by like a band or something, so they changed the name. to Resident Evil because of a band called Biohazard. I think that's what it stems from.
Yeah.
That's so weird.
That's
Very
cool.
weird.
Sorry, continue, Nia. What else did you see?
So there's Capcom. There was a Square booth. So there was.
What were they showing off? I'm trying to think of what
Kingdom
games.
Hearts 3.
Kingdom
Oh, a little game called
Just
Kingdom
this
Hearts
little
3. All
tiny
right.
game that people have been waiting for forever.
How's the hype over there for it?
Huge. Like there's
Like
huge,
insanity.
So like in like Akihabara, there's huge like sections in stores full of like Kingdom Hearts stuff, which I didn't see last year quite as much.
Mm-hmm.
So like I feel like that's all making its own pop up now that Kingdom Hearts is making its self-known.
Did they in Japan hear about Skrillex doing the song? Were they excited about Skrillex?
I don't know. They didn't speak
Did you
to me in
ask
Japanese.
anyone?
Is anyone here excited about Skrillex?
Is anyone, he's doing one of the main themes to that game.
I like
Snacks, are you-
Skrillex better
you
when he was
excited
in From
about
First to
Skrillex?
Last, honestly.
No.
Snacks,
All right.
Snacks is my go-to on new music, and he is not excited about Skrillex.
Yeah, we're
Skrillex,
very
how we feeling on
unexcited.
Skrillex?
Not feeling it.
All right, moving on.
Skrillex was better in From First to Last.
Continue.
Honestly. So, who else was there? Like, there was a lot of So the makers of Yakuza are coming out with a new game that's kind of a mix between Yakuza
I want to
and
play this
Sherlock
so
Holmes.
bad.
You can't. So you weren't allowed to take pictures. You weren't allowed to take video of this game. They had it under like a black like curtain,
Like a privacy curtain?
Like it was a
Yeah.
privacy
Oh, they need
curtain.
to, yeah. With people
Like you couldn't
wanting
like
to
you
take, yeah.
like you had to like
Do you
take
have a title for it? Should I
know
try and look it up?
Yeah, probably.
All right.
I know it, but my brain's like not.
There's
pulling
like
it out.
a screenshot at one point, or like because like they're like positioning it as like exactly that, where you're like an investigator and you're like solving like murder crimes, but like in that Yakuza style where you can do a bunch of side shit. And I was like, I wonder if it's still gonna have the charm of Yakuza. And then I saw a screenshot of the detective holding a dildo attacking somebody, and I was like, this
Yes.
is definitely
Is it
still Yakuza.
Project Judge?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Is that what it looks
Yep,
like?
that's it.
Yeah.
Cool.
And
Did
they
you
had
get to
that
see
there.
it?
I got to watch the trailer. I didn't get to play it.
What are your thoughts?
It looks amazing. I'm very excited about this. So I'm gonna be keeping an eye out on that.
Did they have any kind of like date projection?
No, I didn't see one.
Did you play all the Yakuza
Oh,
games?
damn it. Well, you know what? Project
did not.
Octopath
You didn't.
Traveler just became Octopath Traveler,
That's
so.
true, I can't speak
Um,
there.
God Eater was there. So
Nice.
like God
Were
Eater
there any like
3 or
American
whatever.
games?
Was Kojima there?
Yes,
Kojima was there.
Kojima was there.
Well, that guy.
Oh, my hero.
Persona Q.
This
I got
guy
to
over
play.
here.
Cool.
Catherine Full Body. I also got to play.
Oh fuck yeah!
There's
I
a new
got
Catherine
whole
game
bunch
coming
of,
out.
Yeah. I got a whole bunch of Atlas merch. 'cause
Of course.
I'm a nerd. I'm an
Persona,
Atlas
a
nerd.
lot of Persona stuff.
There was some
Yeah.
Persona
Persona.
stuff.
Is the Catherine game the one that's like kind of like not banned, but it's like
No.
you can't stream it?
It's got
maybe?
mature themes.
Yeah,
Maybe.
he might be onto something because it might be like I wouldn't blame it with Atlas and how they handled Persona 5, but like,
Yeah.
it might be one of those things because like the whole game is like a story narrative, so they might just
Right.
block that whole thing out. Honestly,
There's
We'll find out.
there's a rule on Twitch where if you're playing a game that has like a sex scene in it, but the main theme of the game is not sex, then you can stream it.
The
Like, I play-
Catherine's theme is relationships and cheating on, on
Yeah,
your
yeah,
relationship.
It's basically
Twitch
cheating.
Twitch
Yeah.
has a
Fucking
bias.
awesome.
It has
So
a bias.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah, it definitely has a bias against games that the focus is sex.
No Leisure Suit Larry.
Oh yeah.
No
You
guy game.
can't be
Oh
streaming
my
that.
Yeah. Continue.
I'm trying to think about there was a lot of PUBG. Like PUBG
Really?
had a
Oh, I guess-
giant
Crazy.
thing. I
Fortnite.
played Soul Calibur while I was there. DOA 6 while I was there.
What are your thoughts on DOA 6?
Not enough titties.
I was just, you know what? I was gonna have a joke follow up, and you beat me to it.
I knew where this was going.
DOA?
Still not enough
Dead or
titties.
Alive.
Dead or Alive.
It's
Oh,
the
yeah.
fighting game
The
by
fighting game.
Techno Koei
I
or
thought there was a
whatever.
Whatever.
volleyball
Okay.
game.
They
What?
also have a volleyball game.
With
They
In
do.
my
titties.
opinion, probably the better game.
So
That's extreme,
DOA gets a lot of I wouldn't say popularity, but it's very famous for its jiggle physics.
It's
Yes.
jiggle
Jiggle
titties.
physics.
Jiggle
I
physics, yeah.
remember.
Titty physics.
Apparently, they're toning down the jiggle,
They just want you guys to take it seriously as a fighting game.
no,
but then they still
do
add
that.
all the outfits, and it's how are they gonna do that?
pay a lot of money for
But
those
the
outfits,
titties.
too.
Yeah.
Not enough titties.
Did you like it though?
I
Did it
loved
feel like DOA to you?
It
Was
did.
it like good?
It was
Okay.
it was a good game. So
We know you're a DOA
really-
player.
I am competitive DOA player, which is really
What's
not
my
saying.
ass?
But yeah, it was really fun. There was a lot of like merch like going on. Like there was like a giant section for like Overwatch merch and like Kojima merch, Atlas merch, which I spent all of my money at.
Oh damn!
Sega.
I should have had you get me some like Kojima like production stuff.
I wasn't standing in line, so
Oh, was
I
it?
would
Was
let
it?
you be great.
Was it? Did he show up? Did he bring Death Stranding?
I
He
don't
brought
know.
that trailer with Troy
Oh,
Baker.
with Troy Baker. That was with the Troy Baker trailer.
That was on the private days, so like I wasn't there for that. But yeah, it was really cool.
How
I spent
hard
a
is
lot
it
of time.
How hard is it to get merch back from Japan? Is that a pain in the dick?
Depends on how much merch it is. So I went with one like relatively small suitcase and ended up coming home with 3.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's just as hard. It's
about as hard
as do you want to wait for luggage?
Okay, so
Right.
you're going there
After
for
the flight.
14 days, but you want to pack 1 or 2 outfits so you can fit everything on the whole ride.
There was a
home.
washing machine. I was fine. It
Yeah.
was okay. But my friend ended up with like 4 extra bags at the end of the day, and like
Damn.
it's basically like, do you want to pay extra baggage handling for this? And like we flew out from Newark, so we had to take Amtrak into Newark.
Mm-hmm.
Like juggling all of those bags and trying to get on the train was like really annoying.
How long's
But,
the flight to Tokyo?
depends on which way you fly. We did from Newark to LAX to Tokyo, and like altogether it was about 19 hours
Wow.
of flying. So
It's a lot of time to play the Switch.
Yeah, so I was gonna say that's a lot
Get
of
some
switch,
time in.
I went to sleep.
Yeah.
Spoilers. And then I watched Japanese Cold Case, which was cool.
Yo, side note, speak Japanese programming. Did you know there's a Japanese Sherlock Holmes
Yeah.
TV show, Miss Sherlock?
Yeah, with the lesbians.
I'm all about that.
I'm into it.
I mean, no.
Don't say it that way. It's like,
She shouldn't have said this.
just-
I wasn't ready for the lesbians part.
I'm
I
all
wasn't ready for the
about
lesbians
that.
part. No, I'm
But-
just saying.
But you're all also all about the
But I am
lesbians.
all
I'm
about
all
that.
about Japanese female Sherlock. That's what I didn't know the lesbian.
Comma.
I didn't know the lesbian was a part of it. I did not.
Sure.
I did not know that until you just said that.
But
I
you're
just
all
saw-
about it.
But
It's
you
good.
nodded. I said with the lesbians, and you
You
nodded
caught,
and
you
kept
caught
going.
me off guard.
I love live.
Oh my
I love
God.
live. Live
Edit
is
this
the
out.
best.
Edit
Live-
this out. No.
way.
No.
All right. So
It's okay. It's very
for the
exciting,
public
though.
days at TGS, do
Yeah.
they hold panels?
Yes. So they
Okay.
have like a actual show floor where they hold like live events and things like that. So there was one for Persona where they talked to like all the Persona voice actors. There
Oh,
was
cool.
One for like
Well, that must have been cool.
yeah, it was really cool. There was one for trying to think what the other one I actually watched. But there's a lot of times there's some for like voice actors, or like just people doing behind the scenes kind of things. Like this is what it's like when we were making this, and like they have like a little screen behind them that they're showing you.
How much
So,
do they fan out, like fangirl boy out there? Does that make sense? How much do they?
When
like,
something happens.
Is there a lot
they
of
go,
cosplay?
like when I'm just want to know, like, is there like an NSYNC moment where like voice actors of Persona walk out and does everyone go like, oh my god, it's Chie?
like
I don't know.
kind of, but not really.
Okay.
Like they're very like super subdued, and they kind of have to because they're not like like one of the rules is like no catcalling and no like these kind of like very like call and response behaviors, like none of that. Like you're not allowed to do that when something is going on the main stage. So I don't
You're
know.
saying just in that convention, or that's a general rule in
No,
culture?
I mean just at the convention.
Okay.
Like you're not allowed to do
Okay,
so.
got it.
So I'm not sure how much of it was that that was vaguely against the rules, or they just weren't fangirling. But to be fair, I went to something else where there were boy idols, and they were definitely fangirling there. So I don't think it's a Japanese thing. I think it was just at that point in time they
Cool.
weren't allowed to.
How is the cosplay?
I saw some phenomenal cosplays, and then I saw some really, really bad ones. But like,
Oh, nice.
that's just conventions in general.
Yeah.
Um,
That's going right.
But there was a cosplay like kind of section where they were like all hanging out, and you got to like walk around and take pictures of them, and that was really cool. Some of them you had to pay them to take pictures of, and I was like, yeah, I'm not
I've
gonna
heard
do
of that,
that.
yeah.
So I'm just not gonna take pictures of you. It'll be fine. There's a lot of like Persona cosplays and things like that. You're not allowed to cosplay on the street. So they all came, so the cosplayers came in really early to get like changed and things like that.
Can't
like,
cosplay
makeup.
on the street.
You're not allowed to cosplay on the streets.
Why is that?
It's just,
Because
like,
you're
a
considered
Japan
insane.
rule. Yeah.
What?
What?
This is so funny. I just spoke to 2 Japanese people, and I mentioned Otakon,
Right.
right? And they're both like broken English, right off the boat, Japanese. they were telling me that like the word otakon means crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
Otaku is
Like,
otaku.
Like
yeah.
it means crazy. Like you are, clinical if you're going to these things.
People
like,
obsessively, like,
there's a super
yeah,
stigma about it
There's
to
a
people
large
who aren't in
stigma.
that culture.
That's also like what weebs are. Weebos.
Weeaboos.
Weeboos.
Weebos.
I ain't one of them. I ain't one of them.
Sure.
Yeah, but it was really funny when I said, "What does that word mean? Otaku? What does it mean?" They go, "That means crazy."
Right. It specifically means that
Super
you're
obsessed,
extremely
yeah.
obsessive over
Yeah.
these things.
Yeah.
So like you don't see cosplayers on the streets. Like you might see like maids kind of, but they're really generally going to
Akihabara.
work
Mhm.
or wherever. But like cosplay on the streets is like a big no.
Wow.
So like they had like dressing rooms for them and things like that where you like took off your stuff and like got to go outside and whatever. So that was really cool. There were a lot of indie games there when I was there. So that was
What are
really
your
cool.
standouts?
Um,
Any American developers?
no, not really.
Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, that little old indie.
No. The most indie is
Of
like
games.
hidden in the corner, like nobody.
Yeah,
touched
no one's
me.
heard of it.
It's
before.
really funny that
I
you
played
said.
Red Dead, so like that was there. I guess
Yeah.
that counts.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, so one thing that
Rockstar was there. That's weird.
no, it's not. So
They're always there.
one thing that they have said for years is that they snubbed the shit out of E3 because somebody a long time ago offended them regarding Grand Theft Auto 3 being released.
Oh, really?
And they put their game at Tokyo Game Show that year, and ever since then, they've only had a booth at.
It probably
Tokyo
makes sense
Game
for them to go there because that's a market that generally probably doesn't. It's not like their
Get
their
marketed.
main
Right.
focus for their product. I guess you
Right.
could
When their
say.
games come out, you see literally subways in New York City pass by with their advertisement.
Yeah.
Over there, it's not that at all.
Yeah, because like Xbox doesn't sell as well as like the Sony consoles or the Nintendo consoles there.
So
Oh,
someone asked me.
I did.
So
Yep.
when I came back, Snacks asked me. He was like, "Did you see an Xbox while you were there?" And it took
Like,
me like,
How's the
15
Microsoft
minutes.
presence?
and I was like, I like legitimately saw not an Xbox the whole time I was there.
Yeah, they don't
Not in
sell
any
'em.
of
They
the
don't
game
sell in
stores,
Japan.
Nothing.
I don't.
So you played Red Dead?
I played Red Dead.
Was it good?
Yeah.
Was it?
I mean,
So
it
yeah.
was.
me about it.
For people who like Red Dead, I'm not particularly one of them because I'm just one of those people in
Wasted
sandbox
on you.
games.
How dare you? No,
How
I'm
was the
kidding.
color in
Just
it?
like
How was the color in
it was good. I liked the color
was green?
palette. It was good. There was
Right.
green. There was a lot of sand. It was good. I enjoyed it.
Is that a main complaint of you? Is the color palette?
Yeah, we've been
I have
talking
a
about
color
this for
palette
years.
thing.
Yeah. yeah.
I always ask her, like, you like Fallout? She's like, it's too gray. I
Too
hate
much
it.
gray and green.
It's
Yeah.
like gray and gross.
It's fair.
But no, it was a really good time. Resident Evil, Red Dead Redemption is going to be really great, and you guys are going to really enjoy it, and I'm going to be very happy for you.
Yay.
Thanks.
It's not my game, but like I
Oh, it's
can
my
tell a
game.
good game, and I'm like, this is going to be great.
Yeah.
So you guys are really going to enjoy that.
Awesome.
Oh, any last thoughts that you want to share with us?
No, not really. I
Let-
spent a lot of money.
Yes, I bet.
I
It
spent
sounds like.
so much money. It was kind of bad.
Oh my god. Well, it sounds like a great time.
It's a
That
great
would be the time to YOLO. You know.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I
fucking
definitely
YOLO,
was just
100%.
Like, fuck it, buy
Do that.
everything.
Damn. I'm jelly.
You should
Mad
be.
jelly.
You should be.
Snacks.
Hi.
What's up, buddy?
The
Not
man.
much.
How you doing?
The legend.
Okay. Hanging in there.
What's going on with you? What have you been doing? Playing.
I've honestly just been kind of killing time until Red Dead.
I know. I
if
feel like
I'm honest with
I
you.
feel like I'm treading water as well.
Yeah, I've been
you
like
know?
looking at some things and I'm like, oh, I don't want to go back and play Tomb Raider, and I'm like, no, I'll just wait.
Yeah, I don't want to start it because I'm like I'm gonna.
Plus,
rush it.
I played
started
the how'd you like it?
How's
Lara?
It's the first time
Lara?
I did not
Lara?
care about Lara.
Lara.
Like the first time I did not care about her.
It's weird. I had a weird discussion with someone because it's not Crystal Dynamics
No,
doing
it's
it.
Eidos Montreal.
Yeah, it's the Deus Ex developer.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
apparently, from what I understand, it's just like they didn't innovate. They didn't do anything new. It
But
doesn't.
they just made me hate my main character, who
Yeah.
I generally love and is
I
my
hear mixed
childhood
things
hero.
about her as a character. I hear some people like how, because apparently she's like in that game, she's like really distant from everything. Not to start talking about Tomb Raider.
Tomb Raider.
Sorry,
yeah.
my
Apparently she's just like super distant from everything. And like that's kind of appealing because it's kind of like a I don't give a fuck. Like I'm just gonna do this anyway.
But
And
she like causes like the start of the
well,
apocalypse.
that's the dynamic where you
Yeah.
think about it, where it's like, oh, like people are literally raiding these tombs of like all these ancient artifacts and how's it affecting the culture around it, and like
Right.
that's kind of like, oh, that's interesting, but apparently they just abandoned that even. But I don't know, I haven't played the game.
Neither have
I'll play
I.
it eventually.
Yeah, I feel the same. I think I'm gonna do the same thing.
I was gonna play it
Yeah.
eventually next year.
I'll get to it.
So what would you like to discuss right now? You have the mic.
Spider-Man.
You beat that's a surprise.
Why is that a surprise?
It's not, because we've all been
what are
playing
you talking
Spider-Man
about?
and we all love Spider-Man.
Yeah.
That was like the
Except me.
biggest game of September.
It was.
I platinumed the shit out of that.
Yeah,
I
game.
didn't even
samesies.
play it. Hasn't even
Now
made
that's
its
a
way to my
colorful
PlayStation.
game.
It's a very colorful game.
I don't really like
That game,
Spider-Man.
I think that game's intro is
You do not have
fucking
to like
phenomenal.
So yeah, what are your thoughts on it?
I think it starts off really strong. My big thing with Spider-Man is
Do you want to go spoilers? You want to go into spoilers?
no, we
or-
don't have to go into spoilers.
just in case.
Yeah. I think that Spider-Man is it's a really great game about a Spider-Man story. Because I think that the open world is way too big, and
Really? You think
There's
it's too big?
I think there's nothing to do in that world.
The island of Manhattan is boring you.
Yeah, I think it's totally boring because my issue with it is, and it's so bad to compare it, and I like, you can give me shit for this, but like I get No Man's Sky vibes from it because
Whoa.
I think it's so wide, and everybody's like, look how big New York is, look how big, and when you're in motion, damn, that game feels amazing. I fast traveled once in that entire game, and it was only because the game said I had to. And outside of that, I traveled around the whole time. The minute you stop moving in that game and you take a second to look around and move Spider-Man not swinging, it is fucking boring. Like, it is like, there is like,
That's the first thing I did.
it's like, whoa, like nobody's interacting with me. Nobody's saying any, like fucking
Wait,
Spider-Man's
they
just-
totally go, oh, look, it's him, and they pull their cameras out and shit.
But like if you land on like a rooftop party or something, nobody
oh,
does
yeah,
anything.
they don't. They're they're like, oh,
Yeah.
oh.
And like I think that like at first I was really bad at it. Like the combat was really hard for me at first.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, like it took me a while to get into the groove of it, and it reminds me of The Witcher in the aspect where like every button does a thing, and those buttons do things when put together. So like if you tap a button, you end up doing all these crazy things at once. Like when I was trying to finish the game 2 days ago, I was just trying to land and stop moving on a rooftop, and I kept jumping up and rolling and then jumping back. I was like, I just want to stop, and I just put the controller down.
You know,
for a
there's a button for that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you
I'm
just
sure there's a button for that.
You just hold the left stick, and he just dives.
Okay.
That's your like, I'm gonna stop moving button. I'm
All right.
gonna land. If I'm in the air, I'm just gonna hit the ground.
But I think the side activities in that game are kind of boring. Like I didn't care about the backpacks. It's cool to listen to like the backpacks being a collectible in the game. Like
Kind of
it-
fleshes out his.
yeah, it's cool
you know,
to
his
hear
life.
about and like
But
you know
it fills
see that.
it fills in the 8 years that you miss. Because if you're a person who knew Spider-Man's story, you come in, you're like, it's 8 years. He's already been Spider-Man for
Perfect,
8
yeah.
years.
Just like how Destiny's Grimoire cards fill
Yeah.
in the fucking vast
Yeah.
like time frame in that.
But that
Collectibles, they're great, right? They tell you everything.
did you do them
Read
all?
0 of
Did you
those.
do them all?
Oh, no.
Or did
No,
you
I
just-
did like
you let
have,
'em
I
go?
didn't care. Like I did them once in a while when they were around, but it was like, yeah, it's like cool to hear hear him talk about it because he comments on them.
I happen to think that they, out of all the games that do like the open world collectible BS stuff, just to fill in like the filler stuff, I think Spider-Man did it really well because they kind of like piece it out to you, or like they don't give it to you all at once. They don't fill your map up right away.
I think they do a good job at making you not feel like you have to do it because they'll be like, hey, you have downtime. Go do whatever you want. And you'll do a backpack and you'll maybe stop a crime real quick. And then it'll be like, all right, next story mission. It's like, cool. Like it gives you just enough pacing to where you're like, okay, cool. I can go move on to the next thing. My problem is that, yeah, everybody wants to talk about how great these backpacks are. Nobody gives a shit about like Harry Osborn's like research
Right.
facilities. They're fucking boring. Like it's like nobody cares about doing the Black Cat missions. Nobody cares about. Nobody's talking about the Tombstone.
I do think
missions.
the Black Hat ones are probably the weakest of
Yeah.
them all.
Like light spoilers,
Yeah.
but like yeah, it's like nobody talks about the Taskmaster missions. It's like
Well-
it's like they're like whatever.
Well, I spent a lot of dialogue. Well, me just engaging with YouTube videos trying to figure out how to beat those.
But like that's the thing is
They're
like
hard as
everybody
fuck.
is going so hard in these backpacks, and it's like, look, like that's fine, like they're cool, they're good collectibles. I'll give them that. Like I don't just throw them away. Like I listen to what they have to say about them.
So
but,
a
like,
lot of like
I think it's
industry
filler.
insiders.
I think it's just filler.
No, but industry insiders are saying the backpacks are the best part of the game.
No, I think
Well, it's also the
I think-
first thing
I
you
think
get. You know, it's the
Everybody
first thing you get to
talks about
collect.
the backpacks. If there's anything, people are like, "Yo, I'm obsessed with the backpacks. I'm so into these backpacks. Yo, I got a backpack.
Who are you talking to?
Yeah, I literally got the backpacks in like the first day of playing. I got all of them and then gave up.
Yeah, like
didn't
lot of people,
didn't go back and look at them ever again.
A lot of people I know like are really hard about these backpacks, and like it's just that's fine. But like my main point is that like I think the main story is great and it's compelling, and like I care about Peter Parker and he's an interesting character, and I like his dynamic with the rest of these characters. It has a nice twist and like kind of ploy on like what we know about Spider-Man and how it kind of moves the story and how it will probably evolve in a sequel.
Definitely the strongest part of it, yeah.
Like it's great. Like I'm really excited. Like it gave me God of War vibes where when I beat it and I saw like what happens at the end, because like a Marvel movie, there's post-credit scenes, and like I was like, shit, yeah, give me more. But in between that, I didn't want to do side quests. I didn't want to do anything on the side. I just wanted to.
So did you just mainline the story?
I mainlined it. I was like, this is great. Like I'm having fun listening to this and watching the story play out. I don't care about anything going on around.
What did you think about the segments when you were like playing as like Mary Jane or the other character who I don't know if I should mention because it's a spoiler?
I didn't like them. Like,
yeah.
Well, they were fine at first, but I thought they weared on me very quickly. Like about halfway through.
Slowed down the pace of the game dramatically.
Yeah, but like even so, like it made me. If there's one character I don't like in the game, like just as like a final thing, like I don't really like Mary Jane. Like I think she's very annoying and flip floppy, and she's annoying and she can't make up her mind. And honestly, she kind of she like literally will like talk shit and like just throw Peter under the bus when he's literally trying to do good things and like has reasonable thought, and she's just throwing caution to the wind for no good reason other than she's a journalist and she needs the gritty news. And the only reason she's in the gritty news is because she dated somebody that was a superhero, so now that's what she chases.
Right.
And it's like, why do you have to chase that? Like,
I feel like it was kind of like their way of making her like her own character with her own motivations.
I totally get it. Like, yeah, like.
And like, you know, as Spider-Man, like he's like, oh, I'm the superhero. You don't need to do all this. But she's like, no, I want to do all this. This is like
I mean, they made her own character. It's
right.
just the character they made her is really fucking annoying.
That's
I was not personally annoyed by her character. And in fact,
she was trying to assert herself.
She's set dressing in the movie. You know, she's set dressing in the Raimi movies.
I didn't see her as that. I mean, they were trying to assert.
I mean, she gets fucking kidnapped every movie, and like she's like
Peter,
save the Raimi movies. The Raimi movies. Yeah. Which is probably the most mainline version of her I'm thinking of. And she's a supermodel in the comics. Yeah. So like, come on, like now she's like a character with actual agency, and
but she's like doing shit where she immediately like she doesn't do anything in the story that she does on her own, because Spider-Man has to bail her out of every fucking situation. You can't deny that.
Although I did like the part at the end. Semi spoilers if anyone's listening. Spoilers. There's a part when you're in the train station. I forgot the big what's the big train station.
Yeah, where you control her.
And then Peter's like backing you up as Mary Jane.
That was a great part.
And you're like he's like, okay, grab him now. And then Spidey comes in and grabs him.
I wanted it to last longer though.
Yeah.
That was the problem.
That was a pretty cool segment.
Sure.
Playing from a different perspective as Spider-Man.
Would have loved to see her do something cool without Spider-Man being in the room.
Yo, she got a taser. What more do you want?
Yeah, and then more spoilers, and then she jumped out a window expecting Spider-Man to catch her.
You know what?
What the fuck do you want?
He's not wrong.
I'm fucking telling you
that was
straight
where,
up.
That was where Snacks through the controller was like, what the fuck?
I literally was like, that is the dumbest thing they could have done just now. But whatever.
You know, gotta add some tension to the...
How do you feel about it?
Didn't play it.
Yeah.
I have absolutely no interest in this game whatsoever.
It's good. It's very good.
I don't like Spider-Man as a person.
I think he's cool.
Or a superhero.
I told you.
Neo is personally offended.
I would say I'm sorry.
Spider-Man's awesome.
He's hot under the collar.
Okay, I'm just
go, man.
That hurt, but I'm gonna walk it off.
Yo, best moment in that game, even though we saw it at E3, is the Sinister Six getting out.
Yeah,
that is so fucking epic when you're seeing them all break out and like you're like swinging and
they reveal
and Electro is like zipping around, and then Rhino comes out and you see the Scorpion. Oh my god, I was getting
yeah, this is Spider-Man right
yes,
here. And then when they finally revealed that character,
that was insane, and it's such a good build to that.
It was a very good build.
Yeah. I thought the opening boss fight of choosing Kingpin, you fight him in the beginning,
really cool.
Really threw people off the scent,
and it gave him a presence in the game too because of his men.
Yeah, but it threw people off the scent of like who's the real villain. You know, like
totally.
You're suddenly just locking up the one who.
Yeah, they play with that. Yeah. They're like, oh, is it going to be? Because you see characters early on, you're like, is he gonna be the baddie? Is he the baddie? And it's like, wait,
maybe not.
Maybe, but no, not him. Okay, cool. So they have a very nice play on that, but I think it's too big of a world, and honestly, I think that they could really fine tune it with like a sequel. Like I think they could go Watch Dogs 2 kind of thing.
I think they have a good baseline for what worked and what doesn't
Totally.
work now.
I think they. And
Which there's a lot that didn't work in this game, and I totally agree.
Totally.
A lot of the open world elements weren't as good and refined as, like, let's say, an Ubisoft game, which pretty much has that down to a T now.
And I think things like the skill tree, where it's like, yeah, I can upgrade all these things, but after a while, I was like, there's only like 4 moves I end up doing. Like they all look cool, and like it makes it feel fresh every time I do it. But like half the skills, I don't fucking.
No,
I
used every move. I just like used everything at my disposal. It felt great after a while.
Like the gadgets, I didn't give a shit about the gadgets.
Oh,
I didn't
you should
upgrade them
have.
at all.
Oh, they were so fun.
Yeah,
they're fun, man.
Were cool.
Like the trip mine one, and
that's
when you
cool.
snack
but like
them
the
together.
other things where it's like, oh, you don't get this through the story, like, and you have to build it. It's like I don't give a shit about that. But no, it's great. I really enjoyed Spider-Man. But yeah.
Anything else you want to talk about? What else you playing?
I don't know. I tried Friday the 13th last night. That was cool.
Oh yeah, it's free on PS Plus this month.
Everybody should check that out if they can. It's fucking impossible to find a game, but like because nobody's playing. But like,
so much.
Oh, it's that dead, huh?
Well, there was a big problem with it because the studio who owns the rights to Freddy, I'm sorry, was it Jason, not Freddy, Jason, doesn't want them to update the game anymore, or they revoked the rights, or something like that. I'm kind of probably getting this wrong.
That's why Jason X isn't in the game.
That's a shame.
That sounds like they needed to take care of all that shit ahead of time before they developed it.
You would think, because I rolled deep with like a 5 squad, and like we were just trying to find anybody. We found one guy, and he was idle, like he just didn't play.
Oh, that's why do you even boot it up?
I don't know.
Come on, guys.
But the coolest part that I saw in that entire game was, if you pick Jason from Friday the 13th Part 3,
okay,
you can toggle a skin where it turns in purple and blue like the NES version.
Oh, I've seen that.
Very cool. Very fucking cool.
It's a good nod.
Yeah. But yeah, other than that, I'm just kind of waiting on Red Dead. I really don't think I've been playing anything else other than like Destiny. I beat the raid on Saturday.
Are you on PC?
Nope. Picked the wrong console.
Are you gonna drag me through the raid now?
Yeah, I can guide you through.
Yeah.
You want to come?
Wait,
you can't.
I didn't buy Forsaken on PS4, so
that's a shame.
Hey man, last week I'll talk for them since they aren't here, but we all hopped in the raid last week and we got all the way to Riven, and it was like 12:30. I think we were pushing 1 o'clock or whatever, and we were all so very tired.
Have fun.
Have you guys all completed it yet, Nia?
They completed it. Sounds like
no.
Or
I completed it.
Snacks completed it.
Me
no,
and my clan
we ended. Yeah, we ended Friday night like 12:30, between 12:30 and 1 or whatever. So the week before we had problems with the second encounter, the Sirachi, where it's like the gauntlet. You're kind of like fighting your way up this fight.
Giant.
We crushed it. The first time we went back into it on Friday, and then we just continued to plow through the rest of the stuff. We were all at least 10 power levels higher than we were the previous week as well.
Has anyone that from the podcast completed it?
This guy, he's the only one.
I meant besides Snacks, like Locke.
No, and it sounds like they're going to be playing it this Friday. I'm sitting out this week because I am busy, so they will be doing the raid, and they're probably going to finish it. So
that raid's really cool.
There's a lot of cool stuff in that raid.
Yeah, there's I like the theme, like the whole theme that it's telling throughout the raid, because the raids in Destiny always kind of tell a story, and like, you know, it'll be like the Leviathan raid from Destiny 2's launch is like, oh, like you're like, this guy's like kind of sees what you did in the campaign and he wants to see if he can recruit you, so he's bringing you on his giant space cruise ship, and then like Taken King,
pleasure ship.
Yeah, Taken King was like, oh, you thought you killed the boss, but like now you have to go to his domain and like fuck everything up.
Here's the real boss.
And like with the Last Wish raid from Forsaken, it's like about like, oh, like this thing's manipulating people on the outside from shit that happened in Taken King.
But it's like the Dreaming City is a huge part of that.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So you go in and you find this secret that the Awoken have been hiding, and then it like you basically have to kill this thing and take its heart out, and then like run out of the city with it. Like that's the coolest part. Is the last encounter, because you
talking about Riven.
Yeah, when you kill Riven, you go inside of it and you rip its heart out, and then you guys have to carry it out of the city while it's being overtaken.
Oh my god,
it's fucking awesome.
Cool.
Oh, that explains the event that happens after when the raid was first beaten.
Yeah, and then that's it's actually
that explains
what
that.
was intended. So that's like the
game that whole thing makes so much more sense after beating the raid.
Yeah. You're going in to stop it, but you
damn,
just
it's a shame Trip and Locke aren't here, because they would.
They'd be fucking
Trip's like the lore master. I can't even
Well, was that a spoiler? He'd probably be pissed about the spoiler.
Kinda. We all watched the how to beat the boss video before and then we just didn't finish. So we know how the fight ends at this point. I'm
no, he got a
assuming,
cutscene when he booted that game up after it got beaten. Everybody got that.
Right, we all did.
Right.
No
Yeah.
spoilers.
Yeah.
Fuck out of here, Trip Zero.
Yeah, I'm definitely having a lot of fun with Destiny. It's pretty much all I've been playing.
Yeah, it's cool.
I have nothing else I've been playing because I think I'm literally waiting for Red Dead Redemption. I don't want to start anything like Assassin's Creed either because it's like another rabbit hole to dive down.
That's
Felix,
the cue. That's the
Felix,
cue.
would you like?
Is that a cue?
Would you like to
Do
talk
it.
about
Pass off.
Assassin's Creed?
Sure.
How
I
are
brought
you?
notes.
You did bring notes.
Brought notes.
Let me.
No,
just,
notes is to
Okay.
keep me on point so I don't ramble. For
yeah, let's not get
fucking
rambling.
a long time.
Sure.
I appreciate that, Felix. Thank you.
So I just want to say ahead of time that this is the best Assassin's Creed that they've ever made, and I didn't think that was going to be true when I first started playing, especially with all of the. I did watch
the hullabaloo around.
I
it,
watched the Jimquisition video, and the first thing I'm going to say is I agree 100% with his point. He says it plays like a free-to-play game, and it's $60.
Yeah. To be fair, though, Jim Sterling is always like 100%. Like he's never like, well, but he's always like, this game is bullshit because they did this.
Yeah.
And it's always like that's his stance. He was
So-
always like very
So
biased.
what was the thing? I just need you to remind me. You said something very specific before the show that I wanted to retort or
Oh
respond
God! You're
to.
gonna ask me what I said an
No,
hour ago.
You said specifically there was something about this game. Just say your thoughts about the about
It doesn't value your time. It wants it wants you to pay for XP boosts.
Yes.
Like
So what you
Yeah.
said is this game doesn't have a full game. That's what you said.
it,
You
it
said
feels like it's not a full game when they want you to buy things to
Right.
increase the amount of fun you're having. I guess quotes. I'm doing air quotes for listeners.
so. Here's what I've determined. So it took me in 7.5 hours. It took me 7.5 hours to get to the opening credits.
Right, and that seems pretty normal for everyone who's been playing.
And that's
it.
not
Yeah.
normal for people. They've been stating like 2.5 to 3.
It's for when they see the Assassin's Creed opening.
Right. But I did
thing.
every single collectible on the first island, whatever the island's called that you start on.
Sounds like a Kingdom Hearts game.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm gonna say. Hope we solve this mystery.
I did it all.
Oh,
I did
God.
it all.
Pops up
Um,
after 3 hours.
And they weren't obnoxious like the way the quests come to you. The coolest thing that they added to the game for anyone who has never played or hates previous Assassin's Creed is they added exploration mode. In exploration mode, they don't tell you anything. They don't tell you where stuff's going to be. You have to read clues. You have to, and it's really cool with the quest. When you normally go into a quest book where you see a list of quests, they'll have 4 bullet points or 3 bullet points about where you got to
roughly
go
where you're doing.
to
This is
so
very-
you can figure it out.
Yeah.
This is very Morrowind. Morrowind did this. The Elder Scrolls 3.
Right.
There were no quest markers in that game, and you had to read the quest text to get to figure out what you're doing in the
You got to
mission.
take advantage of like your hawk and stuff, right?
You can right. So I used the hawk more, but you can still. Here's the thing that is annoying: the big yellow fucking diamond. If you track the quest, is still there.
I think I've
Right.
heard
And I hate
things
that.
that you might be able to turn that off.
No, you just turn it off by untracking the quest.
Oh, well, then do that.
So I play.
Easy fix.
I play. right.
Don't track it.
I play the game without tracking quests, and I get along fine. Exploration mode is amazing,
That sounds awesome.
right? And I love it. Now, to answer a real quick retort, it is very 100% true
Okay.
that this will not feel like a full game if you just want to play the story. You will hit that fucking wall if
Why?
you don't do the rest of the shit.
XP gain is slow, but enemies stay at a higher level that make it more difficult to complete whatever
Well,
you're doing.
I thought at first that they had turned off entirely the ability. Well, there was a toggle in Origins for auto scaling, enemy auto scaling.
You mentioned that.
And I turned it on. I played with auto scaling in Origins because what it did was if you were level 1 in Siwa and then went out into the world and got to level 35 eventually or whatever, you'd come back to Siwa, the first area, and Siwa would be all 35 enemies, right? That's called auto scaling. And I like that feature. And in this, I thought, oh, I see what they did. They kept the auto scaling on and you can't turn it off. That's what they did. That's what I thought at first. But then I discovered as I got out of the main world, because it seemed like all the enemies were auto-scaling to my level when I was in the original island. I got to like level 7 and everything was now level 7, you know? But then I got out into the world with the ships and all that shit, and I'm still stumbling upon level 4 characters. So I think they're doing like a combination where some enemies, like maybe main story area enemies, like auto-scale to your level. But then, like, there are certain regional enemies that
will
stay
be stronger.
They stay regionally at whatever level they are for the region. So I don't really understand what they're doing, but I do know that if you aren't getting XP in all the different sectors of the game. So here's an example of some stuff. Obviously, the side quests. Obviously, there's now bounties. Bounties are great because you earn a ton of XP. There's sea bounties and there's bounties in towns for like assassination land missions and shit like that. But like if you don't do that combined with like, you know, there's an arena you can fight in. There are these Peloponnesian war battles that you get a ton of XP from. If you don't do all these optional extra things, you're going to fall behind in your level. And then that's when the thing that you hate.
Where you notice the
Well,
big drop off.
If you're not playing this other stuff and you're saying story mission, like some people do. Some people choose to play this game.
Like Snacks with Spider-Man.
Like Snacks
That's
just
me.
said. Yeah, exactly. So Snacks would
Spider-Man.
come into this game and he would go mission, then get to the level 16 area and be confused why he's still level 13 when he just
In a brick
played
wall.
story missions. Why am I not getting enough XP to like get into this area and play this new mission? And then that would force him at that point, once he hit the wall, to then run around trying to get XP in that general area or whatever.
Sounds like a JRPG.
Right.
It is a JRPG.
But I started playing the game, right, by grabbing everything. So I'm not feeling this effect. Not grabbing.
You literally just described Final Fantasy.
I was just saying, you have to grind out in the wilderness for hours to level your characters up.
So here's some highlights. So a couple of greasy things that they did, right?
All
Real
right.
greasy. Okay, the world scan that you have as just a thing that you've had in every Assassin's Creed. It's a part of your character where you can just
Eagle vision?
scan to find stuff. Not the eagle. You get the eagle from the
No,
beginning.
not the eagle.
Call,
Eagle
motherfuckers.
Vision.
Eagle vision. Is that what it's
That
called?
was whatever old Assassin's Creed
Yeah,
used.
Eagle
Yeah,
Vision.
where you scan to like see enemies through walls and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
That is now.
How do I know that?
is now.
You play all the games.
I didn't know it was called Eagle Vision. I didn't
Oh,
know.
sorry.
Vision.
I'm sorry. My apologies.
That's now not behind a paywall, but that's now behind a skill point. So you have to unlock that. It could be one of the first things you unlock.
I don't think
if you
that's
choose that.
It's an ability, so
Okay.
it's in a talent tree.
Yeah, that's fine.
So that's fine.
Yeah,
I wouldn't
that
call that
makes sense.
greasy.
When you are in combat, this doesn't happen when you're out of combat, but when you're in combat, I don't think your health replenishes because you're fighting, I guess.
Okay.
Right. You can't,
It'll
like,
if you're out of
regenerate
combat,
yourself.
if you've killed all the enemies, your health suddenly replenishes. But your health now no longer will replenish in combat, but now there's a perk that you can get, another skill, right, that will allow you to boost your health. You know, like I think at first it's 25%, then it's 50, then it's 75, and those are unlockable. In the previous game, in Origins, you would have to wait for your health to replenish or get a perk that would replenish your health. I guess that's kind of the same.
Yeah, these are still tied to like skills in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still all tied to skills.
Which is that's from my point of view. That's
But
fine.
that's something you
that
need to
sounds good.
unlock with XP. You see what I'm saying?
Okay, so,
That's
yes.
the point I'm getting at.
Yes.
So skills, you don't get skill points. There's only one other way to get skill points. You find tablets in the world. So tablets or leveling up, right? So it goes back to the greasy point of like them being kind of a little sleazy.
Quality of life things are locked behind your talents, but you need XP to get
And
them.
XP is relatively hard to come by if you're only doing story missions.
Right. And then
So-
they go, hey, look, it's on the store here.
right,
you
and
can
then
get more
can't
XP.
use these things
Oh, can
that
you?
you can use
Can
to
you
get
buy
more
skill
XP.
points?
You buy XP boosters.
Yeah.
Oh my fucking god.
It's $10 and you get like a boost in XP.
It's a little fucked up. Like they have these XP
it's a
boosters that they
pay-to-play
didn't have
game.
before.
Yeah, it's got like free to play model stuff in there.
Yeah, the art of it all looks like a free-to-play game too. Like it's really kind of.
Wait, I want to show you this one image.
It's brightly colored and like.
I love
you know,
brightly colored.
yeah,
You don't want bright colors.
brightly
I love
colored.
bright colors.
Right.
Have
That's
all
funny.
of my
No, maybe I'm not saying it's just for, Jimquisition said free to play, but maybe you could also say that the art style they went with is more like Japanimation. Like they're putting more colors into their art and not necessarily the character, but I mean, it seemed like the menus and shit.
Okay.
But I don't have a lot of experience with that, so don't say that. Can I just rattle off some real quick features that
Do
are
it.
better than the
Playing as a
previous
girl,
game?
aren't you?
I
Playing
am.
as a girl?
She seems more interesting to me than the dude, apparently.
So you can now jump off a horse, which is really cool.
Wait, sorry, this is called Time Savers. That's the tab.
Use
Yeah.
The,
Well, no,
It's a literal free-to-play mobile.
But the Time Savers
Thing, yeah.
name is not new. That's been around since like Black Flag. They've called a section called
Wait, Black Flag had that?
either Black.
That's the last
Flag-
one I played.
Black
so
Flag or Rogue or Unity introduced this tab called Time Savers. It was probably Unity.
sounds like Unity,
Probably
yeah.
Unity. It
Holy
was a tab
shit.
called Time Savers. Yeah.
he's looking at the screenshot
One
that
of
I.
them is called Complete Map Pack.
Yeah, exactly.
It costs 900 made up money.
made up money.
Sure. Yeah.
In-game dollars.
Adds a new map filter that reveals the locations of all legendary chests. Ridiculous. It just reveals
I
everything
can-
on the map for you.
Yep.
So I can buy the map with real money.
But
With
you
real
could,
money.
you
Got it.
have been
Valid
able to do
forever
this
on all
for a
your
couple
save games.
of things.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Valid forever.
So,
They showed
like
the
I
bait
said,
once.
it's very greasy. It's like slimy. Like what the fuck, dudes?
I mean,
And that's
Are we
where like
surprised by this,
my personal like
I'm not dis-
distaste for it goes. That doesn't seem like a good thing to put in a single player game.
I would
Yeah.
only hate this if I found out that I couldn't play it and get what I wanted out of it.
Yeah.
But I can get what I want out of it. So let me just name some of the things that are great. Jump off the horse. I love that. You can stand up on your horse while it's moving and jump off and
cool.
attack people. It's
That's
fucking
cool.
cool. Arrow crafting. You couldn't craft arrows in fucking the other
Yeah,
game.
even Lara Croft can do it.
You couldn't
Jeez.
craft arrows. You can do that now. Certain crafting materials are now found in the world. You don't have to like find like a dude you got to kill who has the crafting material.
So
They're
you just
in
pick up
the
your
world.
Ridgewood, just like
Yeah, you could be right. You can find like wood around the world. You can find like metal around the world, which is
Got
great.
it.
Which
Thank
are
you, Horizon.
Primary.
Yeah.
things.
that's why I brought it up. See,
yeah.
I played that
This,
game once.
now I don't know where this permanence is coming from. The ability to do bases preemptively without risk of respawn, because things you kill remain dead on the map for some extended period of time. Because I went and
do they
wiped-
come back eventually?
Get
Is that,
this.
Yeah.
So there was a story mission. I wiped out a whole base, and then I went to play the story mission, which took place in the base, and everyone was already dead. I walked in.
This is in Origins.
No, this is the new game.
Oh, the
in
new
Odyssey.
game. Oh.
Okay.
I went in. I had to get like some kind of like medallion or whatever from a chest. I went in. Everyone was already dead because I killed them like an hour prior in my play, and I was able to get the thing. And I looked as I walked into the base; they were all still dead. The bodies were everywhere, and I was like, "What in the hell's going on?" Then I was riding down the
murdered
road.
this place.
Then I was riding down the road, and I noticed
Kill
that-
so many people you don't realize.
I
that
just
you killed
forgot.
them
I'm just
already.
a mass murderer,
Get
you know?
this. At one point, I wanted to take a picture of it because I had rode down this road and shot all these sheep. And when I rode back down
Why?
not sheep, they're goats.
That
Hunting.
didn't
That
answer
doesn't
my
make it-
why.
Hunting. I'm hunting for materials.
Okay.
You rode back.
But-
you were like,
but
"Who
this is
killed
a-
all these goats?"
This is
How dare you kill all the goats?
Yeah, you're
Yo,
the
this
worst
is how
fan.
horrible it is. Because I come back and there's at least 15 dead goats down this road. And I was like, wait, are these the goats I killed an hour ago? Why are these goats still here?
The way you
No,
the-
it's not the goats you killed before. Someone is actually just doing witchcraft
I
and we
don't
just
know.
stumbled upon it.
I was like, what in the fuck? There are dead things everywhere. I'm killing things constantly.
You're like literally like having a momentum moment when you're playing where you're like, who's doing the and then you just look in the mirror and it's like, it's me.
It's been me the entire time.
Yeah, you're the
I'm
enemy.
the bad
final boss is
guy.
a mirror.
So, at first I thought this was dumb until I got into the world where you are on the ships because this really comes in. But at first I wrote dumb. Stealing things exists but doesn't really have repercussions. That's what I wrote. That's my note. Dumb.
Dumb.
Okay. Evidently,
all game critics
when
had
you
that.
steal,
Yeah.
when you
Bullet
steal
point.
on a small scale, it doesn't mean anything. There's not a lot of repercussions. I did notice when I stole from these 3 pots that the person next to me went, "Hey!" and smacked me with their staff, and then I killed them.
Oh,
Oh,
as
so
you
you
do.
killed more people.
As you
Yes, get this. So I killed this villager, and I didn't desynchronize. And the way it worked in all previous Assassin's Creeds is if you killed people, you would desynchronize because the concept behind that was the person in their original life never did that
Right.
to people. They wrote these characters to have a morality balance.
So it also sounds
Oh,
like
so you're playing the bad guy. Spoiler.
So
no,
it's-
currently right now my bounty's only 38,
So
and I have no one after me
I
right
don't know
now.
what the hell that's supposed to
so it
I don't know
sounds
what
like
that means. He
they
sounds
so
like
what-
the bad guy.
they
though.
BioWared this game. Dialogue
Definitely.
choices are aplenty, and that leaves the game more open to certain
So
pathing.
I can make bad
you know.
decisions that cause people to hate me.
Like
and I
kill
can
all their
I
goats.
can kill
Kill the
people or
goats.
kill all the goats. And then there's this meter that unlocks in like 9 levels. And if you get to the highest level, all of the mercenaries in those 9 levels are after you. So if you keep murdering, you're going to get every mercenary in this game after you.
Cool.
I hear one of the cool newer systems
Okay.
is you get hunted by these
That's what I'm
these
talking
mercenaries.
about. The
Yeah, yeah.
mercenaries, yeah. So they come find you. I killed my first mercenary. It was so hard. That was just the demo one.
All right, so you don't have to keep reading off your list.
I'm not.
What are the main differences between Origins and this game? Besides the mercenaries, the dialogue options,
You can kill all the goats.
killing all the goats,
And they stay dead.
and they stay dead.
You're a lady.
The biggest thing.
And you're a lady.
No, you could be a lady. Although I don't find that the dialogue options really
I've seen
mean a lot.
comparisons, and honestly, it seems like it's pretty much the same outside of a
Just for
person.
flavor.
It's
just for,
it's just an
It's
alternate
just skin
choice.
dressing.
There's no
Yeah.
By the way, there's no difference between playing a man or a woman. It's the
Yeah,
same
It's
story.
skin dressing.
Right.
Yeah.
I think a lot of
That
people
sucks.
expected that, and like I was like, I don't know why anyone would expect that. Like,
it's a lot of recording dialogue.
yeah,
options.
that's like
yeah.
because then you have to rewrite how people interact with those two genders,
Yeah.
and like that in itself is way more complicated than you could even
Though
think.
from what I hear, Alexios isn't as interesting as Cassandra is.
And
That's what I get.
but
Is
it's
that
the
his
same
Yeah,
dialogue.
Alexio.
It's the same dialogue. So why would it? I think it's a perception thing. She's more interesting because we never played as a
She's
girl.
just more charismatic. Yeah.
You know, like
got a better
I
booty,
think
though.
she's. Well, she's
Does
got
she have
booty.
booty? I don't know.
Oh, that's
It's
why
that
I'm
booty.
playing. That's why I'm playing as her.
I haven't seen her booty.
Look,
You can say booty. It's okay.
one last thing I'll say.
I'm
that,
scared.
what makes it superior to the previous game, besides it's because the only thing in this that's unlike all the originals, right? Because there are all
The
these.
desync.
No,
Okay, go on.
there are all these elements that came in.
goats.
That came in.
I know you're going to say that.
The
Go on.
dead goats. Yeah, no.
It's the goats.
There's all these things that came in from previous games that are done at their maximum like greatness. Like the ship combat is at its maximum greatness. Like there's a lot of really cool stuff going on. It's just like Black Flag. You pull up to an island, you dive off the ship, you go do what you want to do on that island. Like it's great. What this game brought to the table that the previous didn't have is the ability to do engravings. So engravings, for the person who is familiar with any kind of role-playing game, are ways to adapt weapons to make them the way you want them to be. So you can
Rerolling
add,
stats.
it's not even re-rolling. You just unlock an engraving, and you unlock those through doing things like 50 kills with headshots or
Kill
whatever.
all the goats.
Kill all the goats.
Some of them are kill all the goats. There could be a goat killing challenge that I don't even know about.
It's
You're already a
codenamed
master.
Sacrifice to
You've
Satan.
trained your whole life for this.
But
Yeah.
but when you unlock the engravings, they become available to be added limitlessly to any weapon you have, right?
Okay.
Provided that weapon doesn't already have its engraving slots full. And it's really cool because you can turn like an axe into a flaming axe. You can turn like, yeah.
So you just set it on fire.
Yeah.
Dope.
Dan, they're really going head first with these RPG mechanics.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah.
100% an RPG. Like
Yeah.
if you were reticent
That is totally like a Diablo thing you're talking about right
but
there.
what you're talking, it feels like that. In
Yeah.
fact, you know what really feels like Diablo? Thank you for bringing that up because I said it to
You're
somebody.
welcome.
I said it to somebody who's playing it, who I said it's kind of like Diablo, and they didn't know what the fuck I'm talking about. But you know how you put your weapons in like it's 4 circles in Diablo in games like
in
that.
the grid, yeah.
Yeah, like you'll have
Okay,
like
took me a
4.
minute.
You put like 1 skill here, 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, and it represents the triangle and the square and the circle of your controller map.
Right.
oh,
right.
yeah, yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yep.
And you
Yeah,
can
yeah.
mix and match those whenever you want. That's very, very much like how Diablo plays. Yeah, it plays just like that.
Cool.
But you have control of it, and that's the point I'm getting back to take it back to what you were saying about how there's this XP booster in the store, but you can control how much you level up in this game and how much you put into it in order to not have to do any of that shit.
Interesting. So then my question would be like, why put it in there?
Because there are going to be people out there who they can profit on, who are
Right.
fucking lazy.
Right. So, like, not everybody's going to be Felix and want to put any of this effort into it. They're going to save their time by giving you $10 or whatever.
My
and just
concern
do it.
is when developing a game with this, like, okay, so we're gonna put in, like, on Ubisoft, okay, we're gonna put in this ability for people to get an XP boost. How does that change the way the game plays? Or I know you just went all over all this stuff, but like that was kind of a thing in Shadow of War. If you remember,
Yeah.
That was they had all these like monetization options for the single player part of it, and it kind of wasn't good to a point where they were like, okay, we need to remove this and fix the way the single player feels toward the end game, especially.
I think that's different compared to this game because that was literally.
You've been watching stuff about it, Snacks?
I mean, no.
I was just wondering.
But like,
yeah, what are your thoughts?
Like based on what you're saying and what I've seen here, and basically what happened with Shadow of War. Shadow of War was like a loot box system. It was literally loot boxes where it's like, hey, pay for a box and get random gear. And that pissed people off because it was like literally somebody can pay money to be OP at the beginning of the game and steamroll it where I'm trying to earn shit from the beginning. And I don't really know why that would piss somebody off because everybody plays at their own pace. I guess they just want a justification for like, hey, like I experienced it. Why should this person get the easy way out? But with this, I come at it from the mindset where it's like people would pay for a time-saving aspect of a game because they have no time. And because, to be quite honest, not everybody has time to sink hours upon hours upon hours into a huge open-world game like this. And
I totally get that.
Yeah, and like people like that are getting like that are older and like they don't have time like younger people where like they just get the fuck out of school and then they just want to go Steamline and play Assassin's Creed all weekend.
So then is the game like intentionally padded to feel longer?
No, like I think that there are things in the world from what it seems that there's side quests, there's naval missions, there's bounties, there's a story, like things.
There's a breadth of content.
Yeah, there are things there to keep you going. But for people that maybe don't have that type of time on their hands and still want to experience Assassin's Creed for what it is, which some people, for whatever reason, just play that game for the story. But like
that shots fired?
And not to kill the ghosts.
No, I'm just saying,
he fires shots about it all the time. I don't take it personally.
Like again,
I mean,
he's right about it.
People care about Abstergo. I don't know why. People care about that shit.
But that keeps getting less and less important.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're writing that right out, Snacks.
Okay, cool. But like, all I'm saying is like, not everybody plays an open world game for all of the shit that's involved in it. I don't I play Fallout for the world and all the side missions. There are people that play a Fallout just for the main story. And with this, I could totally see people being like, I don't have 10 hours to sink into Assassin's Creed today. I have 2 hours because I have a kid or I have a job or like I have something better to do.
And
like
when the question comes down
they still
to
want to play it.
Yeah, but the question comes down to who do you think the developer wants to market their game to? Who wants to make it for? They want to make it. They're putting all the shit in there because they want to make it for the idiot like me that goes through the whole thing because they're putting painstaking time into making it.
Yeah.
And they want people to then play those elements, right? So they put a price behind what gets you through. Like,
but it sounds like this is like they're adding the ability for you to skip all that if you do the XP stuff. Like so they don't necessarily want you to do it, but you don't have to do it. Like,
right, but like think about
that's
any
so weird to be like.
But think about any like JRPG.
Don't play.
Right?
It's yeah.
Like, sure, you could spend forever grinding through dungeons or whatever to get to the correct level to do this thing. But like, if you're busy or if you have a child, and like I know when I was grinding through Persona 5, I would have loved to have an ability to XP boost.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have.
So
time to
would
go
you
to
like?
get
Is
to
that something that you would pay for?
I mean, personally, no, because I'm broke.
Yeah.
But like, and I spent all my money in Japan just now. But
True.
I could see people doing it because like
Right.
again, like when you like these games are becoming more like RPGs. Like Assassin's Creed specifically is like it's a fucking
It's a full-blown
now.
RPG now, yeah.
Like and like
feels like it.
he definitely just told us
time
that.
being spent is like yeah, like doing stuff like that, like where you're just going around on side missions to do all this shit. I look at it very similar to random encounters. And that shit gets old after a while.
JRPG random
Yeah,
encounters.
there was a 3DS game called Bravely Default, and
I
it
remember.
love
had a
Bravely
setting
Default.
where you could turn off random encounters or make them happen every goddamn step you took. And after a while in the story,
That
I
sounds
was
painful.
It
but that's
was
the
just
thing. Is like
nope.
there was a literal slider from 1 to 10 where you could adjust it, and you could be like, yeah, I want them kind of,
So
or I want them not at all.
let me ask you this: if let's say new Bravely Default comes out and they're like, hey,
It sucked.
if you throw, okay,
We don't talk about
let's
that.
pretend there's
pretend
another
there's
new
no-
one,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Resurgence of Bravely Default, and they're like, hey, if you give us like $5 or $10, we'll turn off that encounter slider
different.
for you.
That's
You know what I mean?
totally- yeah.
Or like, you see what I'm saying? Though? Like
Yeah,
how
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like, okay, now we're changing how the game plays just to give you a little
Yeah.
edge on it.
Yeah, I mean,
You did say
I
something.
think-
Speaking on that. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No. God.
Speaking on that, you said something about how you posted a screenshot of a guy saying the material cost for upgrading is high.
Yeah.
I just found when
If you were to spend real money on it, not in game, whatever you earn.
no,
in-game
no,
currency.
real money, and then the material in game when you go to upgrade,
Mm-hmm.
it costs. There's a lot of materials you got to use for certain things.
Sure.
But I found out in the game that if you do more of the ship missions, you get a ton of materials from that. I just wanted to comment on that. Go ahead. Sorry.
I just think like the argument is the fact that you can spend money and not that like you have the option of turning things off. Like like it's the same thing virtually. I think your problem is that spending money is what you're against. Like having
Yeah.
someone pay
Yes.
for it is what you're
I
against
think
instead
yeah.
of them having the
I
option of having
I think
it.
it's just a pet peeve that the option is there and that now
Yeah.
you can't unsee it. And like,
And then in the back of my mind, I think my problem is like, okay, does this affect are they manipulating the game to edge me to this store to get this XP boost? Like that's what I would be thinking if I was to be playing a game like this.
I don't feel that so far.
That's good. That's a good thing.
But
Unfortunately, still not going to play the game.
Remember the
How-
remember the context of how I'm playing though.
Right.
I want it
Right.
all.
But you are the person who's I know is going to platinum this game, and you're going to spend hundreds of hours in this game. So
Probably.
I'm surprised. I would be surprised if you did get it because I feel like that would be a waste on you because you're just going to play it all anyway.
No, I would
know what I
feel
mean?
Right.
cheap if I did that.
Yeah.
If I
So-
spent that.
so then how is this? Not, I don't want to go too far with this. Like, I really just kind of want to like say like, how is this different than when people play multiplayer games and there's XP boosts and like they have the option of just buying that to literally get like whether it be
I need
cosmetics
an
or whatever.
example.
Like, okay, Gears of War 4 literally had
In
options
Elder Scrolls
to buy.
Online.
Yeah, Elder Scrolls Online. You have MMOs where it's like, hey, pay this and you can literally get a level boost.
I
Or
can
like,
pay
hey,
for an
like,
experience.
Well,
scroll.
it's funny
like
you say
Fortnite,
that.
buy a battle pass and you can like level up faster than everybody, or literally get
Yeah,
a bunch
but
of extra shit.
Well, for Fortnite specifically, there's no like you're not getting an edge. You're just you're completing challenges with the battle pass to earn cosmetics and to unlock
What's
dances and stuff.
but what's the edge? It's a single player game.
There's no Fortnite?
No, I mean like with Assassin's Creed.
Well, I think it's different when you're comparing multiplayer games to
Okay.
a single player experience.
All right.
What was that first game you said? I'm sorry. You went from something then to Fortnite.
Oh, like Gears of War. Like
Yeah, how did that work?
that was literally just like a store where they had loot boxes, but they also had the option where it's like, hey, buy an XP boost, and it's like just to like.
for cosmetics though, right? It wasn't like
yeah, it was
did
for
it give
cosmetics.
you any kind of multiplayer edge over another person?
I don't think
That's
so.
that would be my question for that.
So you would like, yeah. I mean, maybe I'm just like I don't know. Maybe I just can't see it. But like when I look at like single player content and like something like this where you pay for something, I can understand where people would be like, oh, like then what does that say about the rest of your product? Like if you have all this like stuff, like do you just look at this as filler content?
Yeah.
I guess I get that, but at that same vein, like if that bothers you, why are you playing an open world game? Like that is an open world game where there's a bunch of random shit that you can do. And if it doesn't interest you, just like
Don't
like
do it.
Play story games because there's a shit ton of them out there.
like just don't fucking play it.
Sony,
Right.
Sony is invested in making them for
If
you.
Spider-Man required me to be like, here's a great example. Fallout 4 made me do all this bullshit with the fucking what was it?
Building the
factions?
settlements.
Building
and-
the settlements,
yeah.
and you know what? I was doing shit for one of the settlements, and there was like a solid hour session, like 2 hour session where I was only doing shit for my settlement because I had to progress the main story. And motherfucker, I went to turn in a quest and I was like, I swear to God, if this doesn't advance to the like last few story missions, and they're like, we have another thing for you to do. I fucking
There's a
shut the
settlement
game
in
off.
trouble.
I got so
Yeah.
annoyed that I shut the game off and I was like, I'm fucking done. I'm not having fun.
It was so ridiculous that got memed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you're
Because-
talking about in the first settlement sanctuary?
No, I'm talking about like with one of the settlements where I am literally at the part where I find out about like everything going on with the Institute, and it won't let me progress until I've done more shit in a settlement. And I'm like, I don't want to fucking do this anymore.
Would you pay
This is
$5
boring.
to not have to do the
Yes.
settlement?
I
You would have paid
Exactly.
$5 to bypass
Yeah,
it?
But
Damn
no,
it.
but like at that point, I'm just
But see, like that's like some bullshit.
But it is.
The game sets you up to like feel that way. You know what I mean?
But
like
that game doesn't have an option even.
Right.
It's just like
so it's no different.
Yeah.
It's,
But, like-
it's not doing anything for anyone except saving them time
Yeah.
that they probably don't.
but here's the
have.
thing:
Get
the,
this, get
the
this.
developer and themselves are putting that wall in front of you. You see what I'm saying?
Speak
You know
with
what I
your
mean?
fucking
Yeah,
Speak with your fucking
Theo, think
wallet.
about
Yeah.
this. This is
Yeah,
kind of
you're right. Like I'm totally not gonna like buy it. You know?
This is kind of a glass half full way of looking at it. How about
Go on.
How about this conversation that the developers speculatively might have had? They're like, they get done like the game, they're like 75%, they're almost to gold or whatever, master, and then they go, holy fucking shit, this game is really big. And then they were just like, do we make a game that's too big? And then like they're having a
can
meeting
happen.
and they're like, we probably should put a time saver in here.
Yeah.
Because the game's huge.
I would be very shocked if that's how that went down.
It
shocked.
probably did not. Go down
Oops,
that
we
way.
made too much, guys. Let's.
I think we made too big of a
Let's
game
cut it
here,
down
guys.
for them.
Yeah.
What do you- I mean, I'm not even
But
kidding.
all the dead goats.
It's the biggest
Yep.
fucking game, and there's going to be a lot of dead goats.
And-
I'm not kidding.
You can't deny that these big companies, like, and these AAA games that they make, they will find fucking anything to get money out of you after you buy that game because they need to still pay more bills. That game,
Yep.
the $60 that you pay up front, that does not justify everything that went through with that development.
What if I told you Ubisoft is more profitable than ever?
I don't give a shit how profitable they are. They keep making games like this because everybody in the industry is doing it because it's a way to make money after something is released. Because, like, yeah, you have my $60, but, like, what else could we fucking get money from? And, like, that
They did
speaks
season
volumes.
passes. They done
Season
micros.
passes,
Yeah.
annual passes, fucking, like, yeah, buy this XP boost, buy this battle pass, please buy time to
I bought the
save in the
season pass.
game. They will find anything, like, at that
Man,
point.
I'm just gonna play more indies.
you
That's
hear
that's,
me?
that's in my future.
Did you hear me?
What's that?
I bought the season pass.
Of course you did.
Well, I expect you to, because I know you're gonna play
You
it.
probably
Like,
got, like, a
fuck it.
time saver
Yeah.
in it, too.
and you're probably gonna
I
play
will
Assassin's
not.
Creed 3
I will
again
not.
too.
Actually, I will never buy a time saver.
Yeah, so-
I don't like.
But
that.
yeah, if it bothers you, just
I respect
don't-
you for that. Thank
don't
you.
buy it. Don't play
Yeah,
it.
maybe
Like, just-
maybe this.
If I bought a
Assassin's
time
Creed isn't
saver, I
for-
would not admit it.
Like maybe like this Assassin's Creed isn't for you if that really bothers you.
No, and before the show, I was telling I did play like 7 hours of Origins, and eventually I was just like, "Ugh, I
was
can't,
so big,
I can't
wasn't
do
it?
it. Yeah, and like it just kept going
This
and
is 4
going,
times
and,
bigger.
and
I
I'm
was-
just like, I
I was going to make
This
a
is
joke,
4
and then I just
times
didn't.
bigger.
gotta walk
You
on.
guys are so lucky.
This is the biggest Assassin's
Thank
Creed
God we
ever.
moved past that.
Yeah.
Well,
Um,
I'm glad you're having fun with it though. I'm glad it's the best
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed released yet.
It's not going to be much different than what I do at the end of the month with Red Dead.
right.
I'm going to be alternating these two games for the next year. And a half.
I know you are, and we can't wait to hear about it. Because we do a show where he's going to talk about his experiences, and it's going to be great.
From time to time.
I like hearing about it, especially when it's
I'm
games I
playing
don't
Red
play.
Dead 2 in first person and murdering people with axes.
Think of all the
and
goats,
hatchets
man.
And shit.
Think of all the
Goats.
goats.
There's going to be a lot of goat murder.
Hashtag goats.
All right, so I
Goat
think
lives
we're,
matter, honestly.
Hashtag goat. Hashtag goat murder.
I'm glad you said that,
murder.
Nami.
Goat murder.
All right, guys. I think that's a. Do you guys want to? We're kind of pushing on time here. Do you want to jump into any news points, or
I can't even remember what they were. Just the PlayStation 5 is going to be out there.
it's someone said the
possibly.
word.
Spoilers. There's another system.
There's another
on the horizon.
console coming out.
We're so surprised.
It's going to come out
Shock and
priced
awe.
at $800. I can't afford it, so who
Oh,
cares?
they're not going to do that again.
Yeah.
That was a PR nightmare for the PS3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember what they said? Do you remember what they did?
Yeah.
It was like $700, and they were like, "Get a second job."
Yeah.
That
Did
didn't
they
work.
really
Yeah,
say
that was what
Yeah.
fucking Kazurai did on stage. It's funny.
Sell a kidney. It's fine.
The things
Yeah.
that people say. Did you see the one with the Xbox when like everything like they still were, their marketing was all weird from E3?
Oh
that-
yeah, and the
that
guy was like, "Play the Xbox 360."
Oh yeah,
He was
no,
like,
there
"We
was
gotta-
that-
yeah.
we have one that's offline. It's called the Xbox 360, and then there was literally a rep
Yep.
that was like, "So what if it's always online? Hashtag deal with it." And then he got fired from Microsoft.
Wow.
Oh, babes.
Damn. Good
Not
for
how you talk to a community.
Phil Spencer, is that his
yeah,
name?
he's dope.
He's been killing it, man,
Yeah.
over there. I really appreciate the work he's doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's it for this week. We got a lot of good stuff in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
Thanks for coming on, guys.
Thanks.
Yeah. Thanks.
It's always a pleasure to have you guys. Love
It
y'all.
was a pleasure.
Very cool. Well, do you want to share social medias or anything?
Snacks
No.
a cat. Don't find me.
Perfect. I love it.
Except we can find you at hashtag #SnacksTheCat on Twitter.
He made a hashtag for you.
That's fine.
that's
Nobody's gonna use it.
Felix uses it.
I'm gonna use
I'm
it.
sure he spells it wrong too.
I'm gonna use it tonight.
How,
use it all
how,
the
how do you
time.
spell snacks?
With
Snacks.
an X.
That's how I spell it.
Yeah.
Fuck.
He did it.
Snacks the cat.
He did it right.
Damn it.
Flower.
Nah, I'm good. Don't
You got
find me
nothing?
anywhere. Nah, I'm good.
Don't find her either.
Oh,
No.
yeah.
Damn.
Hiding.
Felix.
I'm in hibernation.
Yeah,
mode.
well, I'm Felix Hergood on Twitch.
You mentioned you were going to be on another podcast.
Oh yeah, I forgot to. Oh Jesus, thank you.
You're
for
very
reminding
well.
me. God,
I'm on
damn
top
it.
of things.
This week on Thursday, I'm going to be on the Honeyology podcast.
Don't-
Honeyology podcast is not primarily a gaming podcast.
It'll be out by the
They're-
time you're listening to
They're-
this.
You're right.
Yeah, I mean, if you're watching live, you'll be able to catch it.
They
but-
are a
on
diverse.
Twitch and Mixer.
They're found in
Definitely.
iTunes. They're a diverse podcast. They do all kinds of different guests. Like one week, he had a musical artist on there. But what they're doing this week is they played Horizon Zero Dawn on because Ernest Kidd is the other host of the podcast, Ernest Kidd, and I've known him for a while because he reached out to me on Facebook randomly, and I've already been on his show. Like he featured me as his gaming guest.
They want to talk about Horizon.
They're playing it, and they're not really gamers. So what they needed me to do is they wanted me to intro the show with like an explanation of the game up until the point they're at, and then they proceeded to play the game while they were talking on their podcast. So
And
I don't really know.
What's the podcast called?
Honeyology. That's
Honey.
what's-
And where can they find the podcast?
in iTunes. So you can just type Honeyology in
Okay,
iTunes
cool.
and you'll get it.
Very cool.
Her Twitter is Ms. MS Honeyology. So
Well, then stay
Catch
tuned
her.
for Felix there. And where
And-
can they
and-
find you?
and I'm Felix Hergood. You get me on Twitch. You get me on Mixer. Simultaneously, I call it a Mitch chat, and I'm doing right now.
Mitch, please.
I'm
Twitch and Mitches.
right now. I'm just alternating between Assassin's Creed Odyssey and Red Dead Original. So Red Dead
You guys
Redemption.
ready for that Red Dead 2? And
I
not
can't wait.
Flower?
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm Neo
I mean, you
Yoshi.
said not me, so I just shut up.
I
It's
know.
fine.
I'm Neo Yoshi. You can find me at Twitter at Neo_Yoshi and Twitch at twitch.tv/Neo Yoshi. No underscore there.
Woo.
That's it.
Cool.
Have a good one.
Later.
See ya. Today's-
Flower. I promise you, this will not end up being another show where we talk about Overwatch porn.
Why not? That was the best show we've ever had.
It's every show you've been on.
That was so last year.
Probably
We're talking
true.
about Bowsette this time, okay?
Look, if we're gonna talk about porn, I guess we have to talk about Bowsette.
Bowsette's the
But-
one. No, we don't have to do
I was
that.
just looking back on our episodes with you on it, and it's like we always end up talking about Overwatch porn. It's amazing.
It's my thing.